Hello everyone, I'm Karen Whooley of Karen Whooley Designs. I am so excited to get us started on Eastwick. Originally designed as the featured crochet pattern for the Forbidden Fiber Company's Halloween kit in 2022, Eastwick is a fabulous chevron shawl that is perfect for those mini skeins you have in your stash. After a few setup rows, you will keep going with a simple 2-row repeat until the very end. This makes it a great stash specing project, or even a great way to use up those leftover balls of yarn from other projects. You can keep using the repeat until it is the width and length you desire. Let's get started. So for this project, you're going to need fingering weight yarn and a size E4 or 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, we're going to get started. So we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 6 double crochets in the third chain from the hook. So the third chain from the hook is the one that's the farthest away, right next to the slip knot. So we're going to do 6 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so one thing I'm going to show you right here, there's 6 double crochets, but there's also the 2 chains that we skipped at the beginning. And normally in most patterns we would count that as a stitch, but in this particular pattern we don't count that as a stitch. So there's actually 6 double crochets here. So we're going to skip that and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with the loop sticking out. So now we're ready for row 2. So row 2 says to chain 2 and then turn. Now the pattern states in the notes that you never count this chain 2 at the beginning of every row as a stitch. So when we start the next stitch, we're going to work right into the very first double crochet of the previous row here. Usually you would count that as a stitch and skip the first double crochet, but for this pattern, that is not the case. So that's just going to be hanging out there. And what that does is it makes a cool little ruffly edge at the top of the shawl. So row 2 says chain 2 and turn, which we've done, and then it says 2 double crochets in each double crochet. So we're going to do 2 in this first one, so right in there. So 1, 2, and then 2 in the next double crochet. So when we get to the end of the row, we're going to have a total of 12 double crochets. So there's 4. So that's 2 in that one, so that's 4 total double crochets. 1, 2, so that's 6. And then there's 2. So that makes 8. And then there's 2. So that makes 10, and then 1 more set of 2 in the last double. 1, 2. Okay, and remember, I said we're not going to work in that chain 2 that we skipped, so that's not going to do anything. So we have 12 double crochets there now. So you can start to see that there is a half circle here starting, and that's how this shawl starts. So let's do row 3 now. So chain 2 and turn for row 3, starts like that. And then we are going to do 2 double crochets in the first double crochet. And then a double crochet in the next double crochet. And then 2 double crochets in the next one. and it doesn't want to go through. There we go. 2 double crochets here, and then 1 in the next. So what you're seeing is we're doing a pattern. There's 2 and then 1 and then 2 and then 1. We're going to do that all the way across. So 2 in this one. And when we get to the end of the row, there will be 18 total double crochets on this row. 2, and then there's 1 there. So we've got 9 stitches so far. And then, oops, 2 in this one. And then 1 in this one. So that's 12 stitches. So 2 in this one. And then 1 in this stitch. And then 2 in this stitch. So we just finished 15. So this is 16, 17, and the last stitch is in the last stitch. So that makes a number 18. So there you go. So now it's the first 3 rows. So now let's do row number 4. 1, 2, we're going to chain 2 and turn. We're going to chain 2 and turn at the beginning of every single row as we go through this. So row 4 starts with 2 double crochets in the first stitch. 1, 2, and then you're going to double crochet in each of the next 2. So we're going to 2, 2. So that makes 4 stitches. Now we're going to do 2 in the next stitch. 1, 2, and then you're going to do 1 stitch in each of the next 2. So there's 1 double and there's 1 double. So we're going to have 8 now. Now at the end of this row, we should have 24 double crochets. So there's 2 in this next one. Oops. 1, oops, 1. The loops don't want to stay on the hook for me today. 2. And then we're going to do 1 and 2. So if I'm going to bring this up a little closer here. So there's 12 total stitches here, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a visual of what's happening here. So we skipped the turning chain. So then we have 2 double crochets right here in that first stitch. And then we have 1 and 1. And then here in this next stitch, we have 2 and then 1 and 1. And then we have 2 in the next one, and then we have 1 and 1. So we're going to complete that. We're halfway through this circle, or the half circle. 2. Let's see, 1, 2 in this one, and then 1, and then 2. And there's 3 stitches left, so the first one's going to have 2 in it. 1, 2, and then you're going to do 1 in each of the last 2. So we have 24 now at the end of this row. Okay, so you should started to pick up a pattern here that's happening. So the first row had 6, then we went to 12, and then we went to 18, and then we went to 24. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing this, and if you follow the pattern, you'll notice that we always start with 2 in the first stitch, and then every row it increases how many stitches are single by themselves after. So row 5 on here, we're going to start that, and row 5 is chain 2 and turn, and then 2 in the first. And so with row 4, we did two stitches that were separate by themselves, single stitches. This time we're going to do 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then so there's 5 there. Now we're going to do 2, 2, and now we're going to do 3 by themselves. 1, 2, 3. So what you should be noticing here is that as each row builds, we are going to have an additional 6 stitches for each row. So at the end of this row, we should have 30. At the end of row 6, we should have 36. Now, one thing you need to know is that we're going to do this for 20 rows. So every row, if you read the pattern, every row increases by 1 stitch between the the 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So here we have 2 stitches and then 1, 2, 3. Next row will be 2 stitches and 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see how that works? So by the time we get to end of row 20, we're going to have 120 stitches on that row. So I'm going to have you go ahead and continue on through row 20, and then we'll pick back up and start the next part of the pattern. Hope that makes sense. Ask me any questions in the comments, and I will talk to you next time.